Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. We are doing now, instead of Ship Reads, the Ship Grad series that have more important topics for all of you graduate students to be supported. And please, Eric, the next slide. Do know that this is for you. We're doing this only for you, grad students. And we will discuss every month a topic of interest like this one is, and for us to support you in your graduate journey. Please, even though Eric doesn't think he's an expert, but he has been living this life for a long time, and I want to give each and every one of you the opportunity to learn from what he has to say and his experience. And every month that we'll meet, I hope that you can connect with other grads, and I hope you learn a whole bunch of things so that you can be successful. And I hope that you also ask the questions to Eric once he finishes his presentation. And I hope that those conversations continue for a long time with all of you. Since convention is approaching, I hope that you can also network with each other. Eric, next slide. I want you to hear and listen to all the experience that Eric has to say. And also put your comments in either the chat. Actually, we prefer the chat so I can see that. There's zero pressure. Participate when you are able to. Ask the questions. This is an apology-free space. I urge you to please ask your questions, but of course, I'm not going to call in you or anything like that because this is voluntary. What happens here stays here. So please wait or put it in the chat, your questions, and I won't say your name if you have a question while Eric is doing his presentation, and I will speak your question, but not say who said it because we're recording this. I hope you have fun and keep that conversation going. Please stay till the end so you can ask every single question that you have. Now, let me introduce the fabulous, the amazing, a great friend of mine for many years, Eric Barbosa. He's a fifth-year PhD candidate in mechanical engineering at Georgia Institute of Technology. He is passionate about serving his Hispanic community and previously served on the National Board of Directors for SHPE. In addition, he has been actively engaged with mentoring undergraduate students and high schoolers by exposing them to innovative technologies that decarbonize energy. Most important, Eric is a proud husband of 6 years and the father of a beautiful 20-month-old daughter. With another daughter on the way, imagine that. He's blessed twice now. Together, they enjoy the outdoors, going to museums and musicals. Today's talk will explore the complex and often overwhelming experience of navigating graduate school while raising children. This is designed for current or prospective student parents. This session will provide practical strategies for managing finances, time, which is, oh my goodness, how can you manage everything in 8 hours or 7 hours or 10 hours? My goodness, the responsibilities that you have to undertake under this and your emotional well-being. Attendees will gain insight into how to build a support system, be stable financially, how to communicate effectively with faculty, peers about their dual roles, your partner, of course, and embrace the flexibility without compromising academic or parenting goals. Through real-life examples, resource recommendations, and actionable tips, This session aims to empower all of you in the student parents to thrive in both your academic life and your family life. And we don't have any more programming until January because we have the convention and then the holidays come, but please pay attention to our January. We'll send that pretty soon what our topic will be. And I would like for you, if you have a topic that you're like, oh, I have never seen this in any place that I have done any other event, please send that to me. And my email is really easy. It's Ana, ANAR @ship.org. I put this, I'm Dr. Ana Rodriguez. Please, none of you call me doctor. I'm just Ana for all of you. And I will leave you now with Eric Barbosa to tell us about his experience. Thank you, Eric, for being here, and thank you all for being here as well.
All right. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Uh, Really exciting to speak about this, which is really important topic. I see it as a crucial part of my identity, being a father and also a graduate student. And it's really interesting how both of these kind of mend together and what is my life right now. I will try not to make this presentation too much about how to be a grad student, how to figure that out. There's plenty of information out there, and I'll also try not to make this information, this presentation, too much about how to be a parent and how to communicate with your significant other. I don't consider myself a professional in any one of those topics, but I will speak about my experiences of how those two have mended. Um, so as Anna mentioned, I'm a fifth year PhD student here at Georgia Tech. I will be finishing within the summer. My advisor told me if I don't graduate by the summer, she's gonna kick me out. So either way, I'll be done in the summer. Um, so the real important people, this is my family. That's me and my wife and my beautiful daughter. Her name is Sochi. She's currently 21 months old. Her birthday's in December, and she is the happiest little girl that I've ever seen in my life. She's a lot of personality. She's getting to that age where she's always talking and figuring out everything and being very exploring a lot, which can be difficult for us. That's my wife, Rose. We've been married for 6 years. I am from Mexican parents. My wife is from Puerto Rico. And yeah, as mentioned, we're expecting another daughter in February. So we're really excited about that. And uh, we've been so happy with the first one, and I know we'll be happy with the second one, and hopefully we'll see how many more we have after that. So as I mentioned, this is just gonna be based on my personal experience. I don't consider myself a professional. I'm sure there's many more professional experiences out there. The links, sites, professional people who can speak better about this topic. But I'm more than excited to speak about this. And I know there's a few of us here in the audience. I don't know all of you. So if you could, just please tell us about yourself, especially about this topic. Let me know if you are currently a grad student and a parent. If you hope to have a child within your grad school time, or if you're just entertaining the topic, or if you're just here for the vibes. I accept everyone here. So yeah, just drop that into the chat. And please, as I'm talking about this topic, write down your questions. We can have much more of a discussion at the end. But I will keep going on from here. Okay, so this is a balancing act. I'm sure many of you have seen these memes on the right here. So the top one being for undergrad, we have the triangle: good grades, social life, enough sleep. You can only pick to very common a meme that I've seen in undergrad, and then the one under it is for grad school. It gets much more complex. We have to balance good grades. We want to graduate within a good time. We want to be have adequate like social skills, professional skills, enough sleep, social life, and then we also have to balance our TA and research associated with grad school. And, and then it says there, pick one and you expect to fail at it because I think it's very common for grad school to have this sense of I'm failing at everything in life. I tried to create one just like that, adding on a parenting responsibilities. But as I tried to make it organized and create a sufficient shape to capture everything that is parenting, I started getting a little depressed because it's overwhelming. So I didn't try to do the impossible there because it really is impossible trying to categorize all your responsibilities as a grad student and as a parent within just one diagram. So yeah, it is very difficult. So with being a grad student and with being a parent, especially, there are many different stressors out there. Having to balance time with grad school, with your family, with finances. As we all know, we struggle as grad students, and having a child is not a cheap thing. So it just adds on significantly to the finances. Guilt is a big thing for parents, just trying to figure out if you're good parents all the time, and then also identity conflict. So being a parent, you go through this big identity thing where I just why am I doing this? I used to be this way before. I can't do any of these things. It's a big conflict there. So yeah, there's so many stresses out there with being a parent and then being in grad school at the same time. It just adds on to it. So I'd say that the best thing to try to balance everything is plan ahead of time. I thought I had this great schedule planned out before we had our daughter. Of course, everything fell through the cracks. So, I mean, just planning ahead of time brought relief to me. It helped to release my stress of while we were pregnant. But then, of course, everything changed once we had the baby. So, you know, plan if that helps you release stress. But then also you have to learn to be flexible. I think graduate school at the beginning helped me learn about that flexibility, but it's definitely a bigger crash course once you have a child. So yeah, it's another great tip. If you haven't already done so or are at graduate school, if you plan on having a child or have a child during this time, I'd say it's a good suggestion to pick a place close to family. Um, Maybe once you graduate, you can pick a job close to family. It's a lot easier taking care of a child if you have family close by. I know, especially since this is a ship, the Hispanic community, we have a lot of closeness to our family. All the abuelos, tios, tias, primos, they all want to get close to you and get close to your child, and it really has helped me significantly. So when we picked grad school, I picked somewhere relatively close to my in-laws. They're down in Florida. And when we first moved out here for my grad school, I dreaded having to visit my in-laws. Now I enjoy it a lot because it gives me my wife and I time to go on dates and be alone for longer than a few minutes. So yeah, it's been a quick it's been a drastic flip, and I'm happy whenever my in-laws call and tell us, "Hey, can we go over the weekend?" I'm just like, "Please, please do." Um, and then last little quick tip, family services. There are a lot free ones, but the ones that aren't free, they are quite expensive. But I would say that they are a necessity. And I can speak a little more about what type of family services they are. There's many services out there that range in what they are, but yeah, I definitely considered that uh, having help is very important. So with family and with other services, as it says, it takes a village to raise a child, and I can attest to that. That is very true. Okay. So first thing, managing research expectations. Um, my research advisor, I'm her first grad student. So she was very flexible with this. I've met other research advisors who've been doing this for many years, and they've told me that they've never had a student who had a kid. So it's really important to know that if you're in grad school and you are planning on having a child, your situation is unique. It is not something that is quite common. Um, so this is very important that you manage your expectations with your advisor. This is our lab handbook. So my advisor, whenever we decide to come on here and do our PhD under her, she gives us this handbook, and we are expected to read through it, sign it, and stick to this throughout the length of our PhD. And let me change my pointer. As you can see, there is nothing pertaining to babies, child leave. Grad students, we're not technically protected by federal laws and child leave and all that stuff. So we're very moral. I mean, we're a gray area in that sense, since we're not really considered employees. So it is very difficult. Sorry, Anna, you had a question, or
Yeah, does that is because you're a man, but it also for women in the college?
it's for everyone. Yeah, it's very hard. I mean, yeah, we are employees technically. So if we're on a GRA, we are employees of the state of Georgia, at least for this public university, and there are those resources. But I haven't really heard that that is expected to be followed by anyone. Um, so yeah, I don't really know too much about this information. Luckily, I didn't have to look up too much since my advisor was really understanding about my situation. Um, but if ever there's any case like your advisor is too demanding and not really understanding that you have a child and have to switch your expectations, there is always conflict resolution through your institution. So yeah, I'm sure many of us here have had heard horror stories, or hopefully, well, we're not going through something similar like this. But yeah, conflict resolution through your institution is very important, especially if you're trying to figure out how to address your schedule and raising a child. It's very different. And so, yeah, I definitely would recommend telling your advisor to be one of the first people to let them know that you're having a child. Have a one-on-one on what the expectations will be going forth. And yeah, I yes, Anna.
And Eric, if the advisor is not receptive to that, what you're telling us is there's conflict resolution through your institution.
Yes. So it's a very common tool used. I mean, in many cases, like outside of like having a child, like in many cases, there's a lot of professors or advisors who have these expectations, and a student isn't really agreeing with them, or there's a lot of cases that any type of conflict can come up. And yeah, most universities that I know of have something for this. And I'm sure many of the grad students here know of this. This isn't something that is new.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and a person put in the chat, if the graduate student workers are unionized, some negotiate having guaranteed parent leave to be included in that contract.
Okay. Yeah. In Georgia, grad students aren't unionized, so I don't know anything about that. I know like California and even in Massachusetts, they've been unionized, so I'm happy that that's included for them. I haven't heard of anything like that. So good for you guys. Maybe we can get something started here in the state of Georgia, but for now, I haven't heard. Thank you, whoever mentioned that. I didn't think about that before. So again, this is open speaking. So please, if I don't know something pertaining to your experience or something that you know of, bring it up. That's it's a very good thing to bring up. Thank you. So yeah, keep going. Time management. So yeah, aside from your advisor, personal life, you have to be good at this. And while trying to manage your time, you have to embrace flexibility. Um, s- it just depends on the grad student. Obviously, I know some who are very good at managing their time, picking here and there when they're gonna do something for research and then the social life. I like to say I was one of those who was good at it before also. So if you're expecting a kid or have a kid, there's plenty of exercises, online support that can help you learn more about time management, sticking to those. We have something between my wife and I that works for us. And honestly, it's a lot easier now since we have take our daughter to daycare. Our daughter, like, she's crazy and everything, but it's a lot manageable now than when she was like a newborn. Every phase is going to be different. When it was a newborn phase, it was obviously every hour of the day, middle of the night. When she's hungry, she's hungry. When I have to change her diaper, we have to change her diaper. So yeah, it was hard to keep a schedule at that time. Luckily, in my case, my wife works virtually, and she was able to take care of our daughter whenever I had to come to work and be here in person. So yeah, it's all very unique to your situation, whatever your you and your spouse have planned together. So yeah, it's very to your situation. I would ask you, you know, to whatever time management you have that you do it together, obviously, and then you embrace the flexibility. So with what you have here at the university, you're gonna miss some deadlines. You're gonna miss bedtime. I think bedtime, you're expected to miss it. But deadlines, it's gonna be a lot harder to get things done. My personal experience, I was in grad school for 2.5 years without a child. So within those 2.5 years, I was able to dedicate a lot of my time towards research, towards setting deadlines and completing them and being very productive. Once we had our child, I realized that, I couldn't keep up with the same work outputs that I could before. My advisor, thankfully, she recognized this and was okay with it. And after a few years, also, but upon my third year, we had more people in my lab that could help alleviate some of my lab responsibilities. So yeah. Anna?
But also, I commend you, Eric, because um, other advisors will not be so kind about understanding. But also, you as a man, and some people might think that that's only the responsibility of the woman. By the way, it's not that I'm thinking that, but that you were able to rise up and tell your advisor, this is what's going on, because it's both of our responsibilities. So kudos to you.
Yeah, and yeah, I couldn't imagine doing this if I in the case if I was the mother. I know my wife has been super protective of our child. And she's had a harder time adjusting to this, especially taking our daughter to daycare. Yeah, she's just been over more protective, and I couldn't imagine how she could have done it. Of course, every parent, every situation is different. I don't know how it would go with being a mother and then being at grad school at the same time. Yeah, I can't speak too much on that situation, but I'm sure there's examples online you can look up. And then also speaking about my advisor, yeah, she was very understanding. As I mentioned, she's young. She understands grad school is hard and it was very flexible with me. I've heard in some cases with some other professors that are just like very difficult to work with. Um, they're not really related to anything about having a kid. But yeah, I can't imagine how it would have been like in my situation if I had to go through something difficult like that. But yeah, conflict resolution is there for each university. So as I was mentioning, yeah, I had to adjust my expectations of what my work put was. Uh, I had to plan out my experiments more carefully, just to make sure that I'm not spending too much time in the lab and that my experiments are actually producing useful work. Thankfully, I had the 2.5 years to train myself, and by the time I had my child, I felt like I was sufficiently professional enough to plan my experiments to be more yeah, just be able to provide useful results without having to rerun experiments. So yeah, and then yeah, there's been many times where I've had to pivot. Yeah, my daughter gets sick, my wife gets sick. We have to take care of that. Uh, Even as good as a researcher I've become, experiments will fail. Grad school, we have to learn to pivot. Having a kid, you have to pivot even more. Um, so yeah, it just adds on more stress. But we're grad students. We learn how to roll with the punches, as said. And then lastly, find joy in small wins. Anytime something good happens, I always just say, let's go out and eat. Like I like celebrating any little thing that's going on. So yeah, find ways to celebrate. And of course, this isn't just to having a kid, just the general and being in grad school. Um, yeah. So financial resources. Being in grad school in general is difficult. We aren't paid. We're paid to survive technically. So as grad students, we have to make every dollar count. Luckily, in my situation, my wife is a professional. She's an accountant and she makes professional money. So my situation is a lot easier. In the case of both parents who are in grad school, or if you're a lone parent, again, this is so different for each situation. We've been blessed that my wife, works full time and can provide for a lot of what we need. Um, so, with grad school and hopefully in life, you learn to budget and try not to budge it. Um, yeah, I was never good at this. My wife and I were never good at this. Luckily, as I said, when I started grad school, she was a professional, so we could be more lenient to our budgets. I'm speaking like a spoiled child because I know a lot of my colleagues here in my lab, they can't be this way. But yeah, let's just learn a budget. There's many of professional videos and information out there to teach you how to budget as a grad student. Yeah. So something else that's been very helpful. When you have a child, there's a lot of sponsored health insurance, Medicaid, Medicare, stuff like that. My wife and I used this as soon as we learned that we were pregnant. And it really helped because whenever we got pregnant, our W-2s technically still showed that, we were recently graduated, and then I was a grad student, that we didn't really weren't making a lot of money. So with that, we were able to apply for the Medicaid through the state of Georgia, and my wife's health insurance was completely free. So that included the prenatal visits, the all that stuff, and then also birth and delivery at the hospital. It was all taken care of. So that was a really amazing resource for us. Uh, because I've heard horror stories of like how much the bills can rack up. It's I Yeah, we haven't gone through that. Unfortunately, since my wife has been working for a few years now as a professional, for the second baby, we don't qualify for that. So we have our own health insurance. We bought something that's um, kind of good. It's pretty good for having a child. It's not gonna take care of everything, but we've seen that it's not gonna be as much as what other cases could be. And my wife works full time, so we can pay for that. So yeah, there's a lot of government programs out there, not just for health insurance, but taking care of like daycare, other stuff like that. WIC, yeah, family housing availability. So both my universities that I've been to, they had family housing. I imagine it's the same for most of the universities. Yeah, having families and being at grad school, it's actually kind of common, especially for international students. A lot of international students come here to the United States to go to grad school, and in most cases, most other nationalities, their culture is to have a family, and have families pretty young. So yeah, the family housing here available at my university, it's mostly filled with international students. We don't live there, just because we don't like the downtown area that this university is at. But what I've seen, it's a pretty good place. The price is relatively inexpensive compared to what is around the university. And there's family groups there that they get together, they support one another. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that. In my case, we decided not to do it. But maybe if we had the opportunity. I'm too close to graduating to do it now, but I think I would have liked it, especially with the family groups and just having play dates with your kids. Yeah. Another thing that I didn't actually know about this until like after we had our daughter for about a year. There's family support services within the university. So what our university has, it has a subsidized healthcare provider. Sorry, a subsidized daycare. So with close to Georgia Tech, my university, there's a daycare, for babies and stuff, and they partnered with Georgia Tech to any grad student who puts their child within that daycare, then Georgia Tech will provide us a subsidized stipend. And yeah, let's just say that it's been about 70% of the total stipend. Sorry, the stipend has covered about 70% of what the daycare has been, which is amazing. I mean, daycare is so expensive. It's wildly expensive. I can't understand why it is that way. But yeah, we don't have to pay nearly as much as what everyone else has to pay. Um, and yeah, it's been such a blessing for us, and it's a great daycare. Our daughter started going there about a month and a half ago, and she's enjoys it. Our daughter, she's a social butterfly, so she shows up and she go hugs her friends and she tells us bye bye, basically telling us to leave. But yeah, uh, I'm sure there's many different types of family support services in different universities, but this is what we have here. You could just look up university and family support, look up information online. I'm sure they have people, dedicated staff members who work on this kind of stuff. So yeah. So a big thing that I focus on, um, even before having a kid, just personally, for me, and speaking to this to other people in my lab, is that mental health and self-care is very important. Grad school is stressful, um, and with having a kid, it's like burnout on steroids. Um, Again, this is probably just my personal experience. I imagine everyone experiences burnout differently. I like to think that my burnout is on steroids, but I don't have anything else to compare it to. But yeah, it's been pretty difficult, especially trying to finish up this last year. I have a hard time focusing on anything related to my grad to school here, but yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, burnout is real. Take breaks. Find hobbies, exercise, diets, do things that make you happy. And don't feel ashamed of it. Yeah, it's just it is what it is. Like if people are telling you that, suck it up, go through the pain, then that is not a good advice. So yeah, find things that help you be happy. And honestly, I found being with my daughter makes me happy. So as stressful and as tiring as she may be, it is kind of a battery charger for me. But yeah, that's just my case. In other cases, I imagine alone time, movies, whatever you need, will help you recharge your battery. So find what it is and communicate with your partner to make sure that you get that time. You both get that time. Obviously, it's not just about one person; it's about both of you. And then therapy, if it is needed. I know for my wife and for many women who have children, the what's it called? I'm blanking out here. The when you have a baby and you feel that's the
Postpartum depression.
yes, thank you. Postpartum depression. Thank you, Emily. My wife had to go through that, and she found therapy to help her kind of go through it, and it really did help her. And I wanted her to go through it. I wanted her to find that therapy, that group that can help her really go through this time. Thankfully, I haven't needed a therapy. I have video games and I have TV to help me through that. That's good enough for me. But yeah, whatever you need to make you feel better, seek it out. It's yeah. Don't let anybody else tell you that you don't need it. If you need it, then please seek it out.
Absolutely. And asking for help is never, ever, ever a weakness. Actually, it's a super strength. You will be Superman because it is amazing. So thank you for that, Eric.
Thank you. All right. So this comes to the end of my presentation. Again, I didn't want to bring too many like detailed advice because a lot of this information is available online. It's just with having a child and being at grad school, it's just everything combined together. But just know that if you are in my situation, you're not alone. There are many others out there going through the same situations. So yeah, finding a community and a balance is possible. In my case, what really helps my wife and my daughter and I is this can be different for everyone, but our church, we have people who go there who have kids, and we have our community there. It helps us a lot. If ever we need to have an hour or two to ourselves, we have good friends who have kids through there that we just drop off our daughter and we just take some time. Um, yeah. So success is going to look different for everyone. Success in my case is making sure that my wife and my daughter are happy and that I graduate reasonably uh, within reasonable time. Yeah, it's going to be look different for everyone, but just make sure that you do what is best for you and for your family. And grad school, it's it's going to drag on sometimes, but yeah. And yeah, make sure you are flexible. You communicate with your partner, with your advisor, and show some self-compassion. Yeah, I haven't been as good as a researcher as I thought I could be, but I find that's fine with me. Like I am okay with that. I am happy with what I am going through, and I wouldn't change it for anything else in the world. Um, and yeah, family is such a great source of joy. Um, my wife and I, when we graduated from our undergrad, we were thinking like, oh, maybe let's wait to have a child. We waited a little bit, but then we're like, oh, let's just go ahead and do it. And I don't regret it. Yeah, I can't tell you anymore. I can't express how much that this has made me happy. But yeah. So at this time, we'll take any questions. I'm doing my
Okay.
presentation.
Yes, Eric, I'm going to stop the recording right now.